This is my audience, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite types of fishing called limb lining or setting lines. There are several instruments needed, including line, so you can tie to the limbs. This is my preferred length. Hook or hooks, depending on how many lines you're setting. I prefer a number 10 circle hook, but that whatever your preference is on hook size and whatever you're catching. A knife to cut your line. A state regulation book to tell you the regulations about fishing if needed. Most people think that limb lining is just an easy sport that you tie line to a tree with a hook on it and catch fish, but there is a lot of prep work involved in this sport, and I'm going to tell you those. In the sport of limb lining, you have to figure out where you're going to fish and the regulations required by the state you're in for the body of water you're going to be fishing in. There are many regulations on the type of bait you can use. If the body of water you are fishing in is privately owned, it is necessary to ask permission and tell the landowner what you will be doing. If you are on public land and it is a good idea for you to keep your lines out of other people's way. After I figure out where I'm going to fish, I prefer scouting the area with a boat for good places to fish. I prefer shallow areas because bait fish tend to congregate there. The depth of the water is a very important factor in setting lines due to the fact that certain types of live bait die in deep water because there isn't very much oxygen. After scouting the land, you will need bait. Whether you buy it or catch it, I prefer catching small bait fish called perch, which is done so by using worms or lures. After you catch bait, you will need to get your line the length that you desire. This is sometimes done so by adding swivels or sinkers. A hook will then need to be tied on the line. Once the hook and line are together, tie it to a limb or something else that is sturdy and hanging over the water. The bait is then ready to be placed on the hook. After all of this is done, you will have to come back and check on your lines about every 3 or 4 hours. Despite all the time and preparation in limb lining, it is a great alternative to fishing with a fishing pole because you can just leave, come back in a couple hours if you're at a job or you have to go somewhere and catch all the fish you want, and you never know what kind of fish you will catch.